Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back to the US channel. My name is Luis, and I'm with the sales and business development team here at US Loan. We're so glad to have you here because you're such a special guest, always. If you're in the solar or home improvement spaces and you're looking for that financing option that you couldn't find yet for your customers, or you have so many credit fails that you need new financing options, or you're just looking for the best financing option for your customer, give them more options, more affordability on their financing costs for their next solar or home improvement project, you are in the right place, my friend. So welcome. And today we're here to just share with you big announcements on what the next 30 days hold here for us at EOSN for yourself if you're also a registered contractor. So we have a big commercial announcement to make, and for that matter, I'm gonna invite to this live stream here one of my colleagues and very close friend, Adios Loan, someone who's doing the account management role today and is building up the relationships with all our good partner contractors here. So Guilherme, come on in and welcome to our live stream session here,
Good
live on YouTube and our
afternoon.
social media channels. Welcome. We
Good
can hear you
afternoon.
well and clear.
Thank you. Thanks, Luis. Thanks for that warm introduction. And good afternoon to everyone. It's really nice to have all of you here. And thanks for joining us. In case you haven't met me before, I'm Guilherme, or if it's easier for you to call me Guillermo, and I'm the account manager at EOS Loan or EOS Loan. Maybe I've spoken to a couple or the majority of you, mostly over the phone. So this is what I look like. So now you have a full picture of what I really am all about. And yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
we're excited to show you guys some stuff that we have planning for the end of September and most of the month of October.
Cool. Just so for you guys who are already registered with EOS, I'm sure there are going to be some contractors that are already in sales teams and reps that are already in the EOS platform using and talking to you, Guy. But also, it's good to remember that we'll have also some unregistered partners here, or maybe just contractors that are looking to partner with us in the near future. So you talk to me first to so that I can onboard you to the EOS platform, right? So this is how we divide up responsibilities. Now, Luis here, myself, I'm the one who's doing the business development and will be welcoming new contractors and doing the not only the type of content, but the training sessions, onboarding checks, and including your sales team into our platform and handing your team over to Guilherme to actually close deals and monitor how you perform and everything. So this is how we're dividing up the responsibilities here. So it's really good that we get that out there and you understand each one's role here. But I'm excited to have Guy here with me because he has so much to share. And in fact, I would like to ask our production team here to put on the slides that we have prepared here, big announcements for the next 30 days. Now, this comes and it was sort of created in conjunction here between Guy and I, and but it's really a big announcement, and it's going to be a big action here for the next 30 days on the commercial side of things. So this only applies for, of course, contractors that are onboarded and registered in the EOS platform. So if you want to take advantage of this, you have to, register, get through the vetting process, and get onboarded very soon because it's going to run for the next 30 days. Or if you're already registered, pay close attention. The biggest announcement that we have here, and that's who's going to, I think the announcement that's going to benefit most of the contractors here is the second slide on hand on deck here. It is the discounted platform fee that we have here, right? So moving to the second slide here, let me do that for our team. We have this big announcement that, our platform fee that was already, really appealing and interesting in terms of cost. is being reduced by 20%. So this can serve as an incentive, sort of like a cashback into your own pricing and your own margin as a contractor. It's going from 10% to 8%. So big discount here for our registered contractors and people that are put it in apps here, but with a big caveat. Of course, these deals have to close, right, Guy? So give us the full picture of what this means for our registered contractors and how many deals they have to close within this period to be able to take advantage of that.
For sure, for sure. I mean, we're always aiming for let's close as many deals as possible, regardless of the advantages. At the end of the day, I always like to tell our contractors, we only make money when you guys make money, right? So it's just a reminder that we're here to make, to bring value to you guys, so you guys can bring value to your homeowners, your clients. And kicking off with this first promotion, what we're trying to do, much like Luis said, or exactly like he said, we're bringing down our platform fee. You're well aware that all the financial options that we have on the residential front does not have a platform fee, but we have the platform fee. So we're trying to incentivize this part of our business to bring down, our platform fee, so you guys can make a more favorable margin on your deals this upcoming month. Now, the promotion is going to kick off as of tomorrow, like it said on the screen, from the 26th of September all the way to the 26th of October, right? Now, the catch is as soon as as soon as the fourth deal is funded, then as of the fourth deal onwards, so the fourth, fifth, sixth, you're going to start getting 20% reduction platform fee. We're going to start seeing if, let's say, you guys manage to get 6, 7, 8 deals, we might even start bringing those margin lowers. It all depends on a case-to-case value, but we're going to start off just with a fair number, a reasonable number that we all know that is achievable is as of that fourth deal. Now, that's the first catch. The second catch is I want to bring attention to these dates because this means that the deals need to be submitted as of tomorrow and closed as of October 26th, right? You can submit it on September 27th, 28th, but it needs to be submitted as of tomorrow, and the closing date has to be October 26th. Now, this means closing, right? It means signed by your customer. It does not mean funds received, but final signature with the capital lender and the homeowner in this case. Final note, I just want to mention, I just want to mention one thing. This is for all our financial products in the residential. So traditional loan, personal loan, HEI, and HELOC as well.
Awesome. This is the first time we're doing this, and it's a big incentive here, of course, 2% extra margin, on a 40, 50,000, sometimes even $100,000 deal. It's a significant amount of money to, go around and negotiate between sales rep or even give that customer the extra, incentive, maybe offer that as a discount or something. So, there are multiple ways that you can fit that into your pitch, your proposals. And we're giving a big push here to offer you that incentive as long as you can close 4 deals within this time frame. Now, it'll require an effort on your side to work very closely to Guilherme here to get this done. But these deals are awesome to push through, considering, our flagship option, the home equity investment option, which is the 10-year term with no payments required throughout the term. Now, that's a big financing option that we've been, approving a lot here, right, Guy? If you can brush up and just touch on, what it is like to close a home equity investment option. And in fact, how appealing it has been for contractors who have been tapping into this financing option because it offers such interesting terms. What you've seen there from the front, in terms of the customer, what are they saying in terms of this awesome financing option that now can take advantage of this reduced platform fee?
Yeah, so the HEI, the home equity investment, we all know it's a pretty relatively new financial market, right? A financial product. And it's definitely hot because once the homeowner learns that their credit score doesn't have to be that great. Between you and I, it can be, you know, even 580, below 580. But if they have a good chunk of equity in their home that they don't owe that much in mortgage to the bank anymore, then they can be approved for quantities around 50, sometimes 100. I've even seen deals that go to 200K, right?
Wow.
And the great thing is, of course, you guys as contractors, you can, take advantage of these higher numbers and implement more exciting projects. But what's even more of a benefit to the contractor is that the HEI does not work like traditional loans, where the contractor, in this case, you get the loans, directly funded to you for the project. In this case, since the money is not only focused on the project, but it can be focused on anything the homeowner wants, right? The money goes directly to the homeowner. And this is where we've seen an issue in cases where the homeowner decides to back down on the project, or they decide to delay the project. They decide to pay in, I don't know, 5 monthly installments. And this really affects your line of business, right? You guys got projected I don't know, a $70,000 deal, $70,000 project for, let's say, this Thursday. Tomorrow, end of month, you guys are guaranteed you're going to get that money for that final closing of the quarter, report that revenue. But then the homeowner is like, you know what? I got the money. I don't have to do it now. So, and they decide to do it next month, right? So here's where we come into play. We act kind of like a financial insurer in this case, because we get the funds in the name of your homeowner, and we get to deposit it directly to you as soon as we get it hit into our account, right? Of course, we have our milestone payments that you guys are pretty much aware of, but this is a way that we can protect you guys getting the money for the project you've been committed to, and getting it in time that you were hoping to get it for.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if everyone is aware of our milestone payments, and in fact the milestone payments for the home equity investment option. Now I'd like to go back to that because it is a super positive cash flow type of arrangement here for the contractor, given that they receive up to 50% of the entire project amount up front as soon as they provide the material delivery proof. In other words, the bill of materials as a document all that is being set aside and prepared to be shipped to the customer.
Correct.
Now, that can be up to 50% of the entire project before the project even start. Now, the remaining 40 comes out right after the project is complete, which is, over 90% here of the entire project amount, 50 up front and then 40 upon project completion, without the need to, go through inspection. And the remaining 10%, to be fair here, we hold it until PTO is issued. But, that's a really interesting cash flow model, which is putting all that money up front for the contractor to grab and execute this project. Now, that is super, super interesting compared to any other financing option out there. I'm sure in the solar sector and in the home improvement sectors, most of the financing options we see out there are pretty much 100% after project completion, and even a few days or weeks after that, when the inspection is done or PTO is issued, right? So all the financiers out there are really pushing that. After the project is complete, now we're doing all that beforehand. Now, what you got to say about that, Guy?
No, I think it's really exciting. Much like you said, right? A lot of traditional banks will only deposit that M1 once the NTP is issued, right? And we don't really need that. We just need the bill of materials, and we do follow a lot of the best bank standards, because there are some banks that just will send you an M1 of 30%. We don't really do a milestone payment contractor vetting like some banks do. As soon as you're in our platform, that means that everyone gets their fair share of that M1 being 50%. We like to be
Yeah.
fair on that end, and it's something that's really really attractive, because in my experience in the past month or so, I already see a lot of contractors having that bill of materials ready even before funding takes place. When they know that they're going to get
Yeah.
funded, they're like, all right, I'm good to go. I go get that bill of material. And it's a way that we all can speed up the process as well.
Yeah, because then it becomes very interesting to push for the project to be delivered and installed, and everything I think becomes very efficient. There are big incentives put in place here for the contractor to get that done on their end too. So a lot of resources to grab there and go ahead with the execution. Now, if something sounds really good, doesn't mean that it can be made even better in terms of possibilities. So we've been building relationships here throughout the last month, last year or so, with many contractors in Texas, Florida, California, and other states too. And the next big announcement here is for selected contractors only. So, and Guilherme will be the one who will be carrying this great news on an individual level starting tomorrow. But I just wanted to give you a taste. If you're out there, maybe you're one of these contractors. If you feel like you have a strong relationship with EOS, maybe you're one of the contractors that is going to benefit from this next announcement. Now, if you're not, it's good that you have a look at this and understand the type of benefit we can offer to very close and well-built partnerships here. So again, only for selected contractors, we'll be communicating with them individually starting tomorrow. But the next big announcement is, in fact, an increase in the disbursement, in the upfront disbursement milestone one payment for contractors that close deals with the HEI financing option, right, Guy? So we're increasing it from 50 to 80% in terms of cash upfront upon proof of material delivery in accordance to the documents that can be provided for that. Now that is 80% of the entire project amount upfront before the project even start for the contractor. That's a big chunk of the project resources there, and even a portion of the margin already made available right up front before the project is even complete now. The second milestone is 10% upon project completion and 10% upon PTO. So walk us through this here, Guy, in terms of requirements and, of course, a way to show and appreciate the selected best partners that we have here. Of course, you're not going to be naming them right now, but it's really good to offer this and show that we have such a consideration for partners that are very close or working very closely to us.
Of course, and I don't want to cause any trouble here. I don't want any trouble for myself or any fighting, but we selected a couple of or a number of the best contractors that we have in our platform, and it's based off of different factors. We're looking at time that they've been in business with us, the amount of deals that they have funded, the continuous activity, the communication as well, how the rapport has been built. Not necessarily meaning that we've had a nice relationship in terms of positive communication, but more like constructive communication, right? So we've selected a couple of these contractors, and you guys will also be getting emails to specific accounts, whether it's a couple of your sales reps or head of the companies. And I do suggest that you guys also internally spread those emails around, so your entire commercial team can take advantage of this promotion for your company. And it's pretty much like we said, and how it's on the slide. It's the classic three-way disbursement that we have. So instead of it being 50, 40, 10, we've upped the first number to 80, and then you have 10% and 10% on the second and third milestone payment. Now, of course, there are the selected number of contractors that will be receiving these emails. But at the same time, this is a good idea for the ones that haven't been selected to, keep an eye out to see what we can bring for you guys as value, because this is not going to be the only time we're going to do this. We can give you our word on this, and it's not the only type of promotion that we're going to be doing. So it's also a way to incentivize other contractors that we have that, want to step up their game with us. and bring us more deals so you guys can get funding for your customers. Now, if you're not selected and you want to learn more on how to be selected, how you can, take advantage of EOS as a platform, you can reach out to me, to Luis, if it's easier as well, whichever. But we're here to help to make you guys sure that you're as successful as you can be when it comes to that financial funding for your customer. I do want to point out just two last things. Most importantly, the dates, once again, as of tomorrow until October 26th. And yes, that does mean deals have to be submitted as of tomorrow. Now, the difference compared to the previous promotion on the 8% is that it's any deal that is submitted between the 26th and September 26th and October 26th. So it doesn't matter if funding takes place in December. If that deal was submitted in our platform on October 26th, you guys are going to take advantage of this milestone structure as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What do you think, Luis?
Well, that's not it. That's just the start of it.
It's just the start.
So
I
we're
thought
really
we were being generous already. Okay, there's more.
That's just the start of it. Of course, now comes all the deals that, all of our partners and these sales
Yeah.
reps and the contractors are going to put in our platform here in the next month, give a big push to be able to take advantage of this. Such a big incentive, not seen out there by any other financing company for sure. For sure. So this is really exciting. We're going to be focusing a lot on this in the next few days here. So if you're not online here, you're watching this as a recorded session, or even if you're watching online right now, you're gonna see that we're gonna push this hard. And I think giving these selected contractors this incentive, this cash flow incentive, and all of the contractors and partners here, the incentive on the platform fee, reducing our platform fee from 10 to 8%. For the residential projects, as long as you can meet that 4 project threshold close by the date of the end of our promotion here. It's just such big things that we're doing for our partners. Now, we want to learn more of what we can do, of course, and with all of our financing options, we understand that approving faster is something that all of you guys who are watching us want. Approving faster, getting better terms. Now, Guy, I wanted to really go back to the HI. I think is something that we need to focus on here, because the HI is really our flagship option, and we have been reducing our sales cycle for that financing option significantly. So in the next month, what we can expect is new updates as far as the home equity investment. And I know this, of course, but I want to hear from you. We have some of our partners, bringing in a lot of new resources because of recent fundraisers and fundraising events here that has taken place. Now, what we can expect in terms of availability, in terms of potential closing dates, in terms of going through that process faster, and just fresh updates on this front. What do you got for us? I know you got a few things.
Yeah. So, our partners, and I think some of you contractors have already been experiencing this. Your homeowners might have been accustomed to receiving just one phone call from one capital lender designated to an HEI, and some of you are already experiencing where they get 2 or 3 calls. So this is also something that we're seeing. Their efforts are growing to the point that they can take more in their hands at the same time. And the idea is for your homeowner, or in this case, your customer, to get the best financial option as possible, right? And it's a great start as well, because it kind of takes the load off of your hands and our hands, because, they get like 3 deals on the table, and, one could be 80K, but funded on, let's say, Friday, and the other one could be 70K, but funded tomorrow. Your project is worth 55K, you're good to go either way. But at the end of the day, we want to push for faster funding, of course. But, the idea is that now your customer has better options. So you look better while we also look better, right? And I do know that one of them has increased their line of credit, which is going to be easier for them to to go faster through deals. Before they took a longer time because lower credit means they need to be a bit more harsh with their scrutiny to make sure that they're not just letting go of funds from left to right. Now there's more of wiggle room, let's say. I do want to say it's important though that we keep our expectations, in check. And since we do have a promotion that's for a month, the best way to also take advantage of it is, I think you guys already know the process how it goes with the HEI, but to come as prepared as possible. And this is also something I've seen from a lot of contractors. You're coming up with already most of the documents at hand or all of the documents. You already give me a time to schedule to call the homeowner. This is excellent. It's crucial because it already eases the homeowner into the process. It gives them consent for, in some cases, for soft inquiry. And it's also a lot more comfortable for the homeowner to be involved as soon as possible, and have that relationship with the lender, right? They need, when we're talking about money, the homeowner tends to be really iffy, right? And they want full transparency from the start. So this is just a point that I wanted to also bring and ask as a favor to just keep up that effort because we're really seeing a lot of success on it.
For sure, for sure. And I wanted to take the opportunity here to go back to the process for the HEI now. It's something that we shared last week when we started this live stream section, this the process here. I'm gonna ask our production team here to put on the slide for my shared screen. Lean, if you can share that right now. This is the slide on the slide deck where we show what the application process for our flagship option is. Now, what Guilherme is saying is, of course, know and understand this process really well so you can align dates and expectations here. Now, the first thing we need to do, and this is available for all of you who are registered on platform or who will be very soon here, you need to create that application record as soon as possible and get that customer on the phone with what we call the equity specialist or the investment officer. Now this can happen very fast and you can get to that pre-approval very fast, right? Some folks think that this is a product that it takes a long time to get approved for. Now you can get to a pre-approval within a day or two if you manage to get the customer through that introduction call and upload documents so that you can validate that. Now, explain to us what it means to get pre-approved, and of course, the two major steps here, Guy, what you've seen in terms of efficiency gains and things like that, in terms of opening up the title of the property, and of course, going through inspection. Now, we need to get to that final offer and closing to guarantee the commercial conditions here that we're offering. But what we're seeing here, I think up to client uploading documents, we can get to that in a day or two, right?
Yeah.
And after that, maybe going through the title check and property inspection. Now, walk us through this because, of course, there has been updates here on the process and efficiency gains too, right?
Yeah, and I think the best way to be efficient with this, guys, is using our app. If you're there on the road and you're meeting your homeowner face to face, just submit the application with the homeowner while they're with you on our app, right? And you can also ask them for those documents up front, take pictures, and it's done. It's it's in our system. Now, I want to answer your question, Louise. I want to divide your question by answering in two parts, and that's, let's look at what it says in up until soft credit inquiry and pre-approval first. Now, in order to get to soft credit inquiry, I'm gonna tell you guys a secret that I shouldn't. We don't need documents up until that part, right? And it's really fast. Of course, if we can get documents as soon as possible, it's just easier for the process to go faster. But up until this part, we just need the basic application questions that we already ask, and we need them to get on the phone. So of course that can be done, because on the phone they explain to them the process, they make sure that they want to sign up to the HEI, that they're comfortable, and they get their approval for a soft inquiry. Now that right there and then, it should take about max a day after that phone call, max to know how much the person has been pre-approved for. And then in only order to move to the only way to move forward to client upload documents, which is when the client's profile is sent to title inspection, then we need all documents, everything that's listed here, plus a signature from the bank that is sent directly to the homeowner, you know, so they can do a title inspection. So, that's enough for soft credit for a pre-approval. Now, what happens is that titles sometimes will come back with, they need to update their homeowner insurance. They have a lien against, I don't know, a lien that they haven't covered from 2 months ago. And a part of that fund could be used to pay off those two pending factors that the bank requires. This is a common staple with HEI, simply because since the bank is investing in the homeowner's house, they need to make sure that everything is up to date, everything is looking fresh and clean, right? So that's why we need to have those documents, and we need to make sure that everything is in place and up to date.
Awesome. Very, very well noted. I think you explained the process well. Now, want to highlight again the speed with which we can get to that is, a day or two, right? Because these
Yeah, yeah.
customers, they usually have they usually have, the copy of the current mortgage statement, proof of income or social security, a copy of the social security card, proof of homeowner insurance. The signed disclosures here is just the intent to move forward, right? That's just a short document they sign
Yeah,
just to get
yeah.
them locked into the deal. And this actually gives more security to the contractor. Now, if you have a signed install agreement, that's great too. But that, like Guilherme said, and maybe the signed install agreement is not even required at that point. I think that can be sent into after property inspection, right? I think that's the only document that can be sent into towards the end. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, it
so
is. And normally I'll just be calling you guys. You already have that experience. I'm calling you for that document just because we make sure that the homeowner doesn't get all the funds, and instead we get the funds for the project so we can all get paid in due time. So,
yeah,
but
for
it
sure.
could be delayed
And
a
be
bit.
offered
Yeah,
that big, cash flow incentive, right? So
yeah,
now it's well noted there that the homeowner, if this doesn't happen, the homeowner can get to the cash before we do. Then it's going to look more like a cash deal than anything else if that
exactly.
happened. But let's go back to the HEI concept here, because there might be a few folks out there that are not up to speed in terms of what the HEI is, and we're showing the process, of course, and proving here and showing that you can close 4 deals within this time frame. Now, and giving those big commercial incentives. Now, some folks are just arriving, and they might not even be registered on the platform yet. They will soon. I know I'm going to get them onboarded. But let's go back to the concept of the HI here, because I think it's super important to go back to this and explain in real good terms. I did this last week, but I had to cover many different financing options on the last live stream session that we had last week. No, going back to the equity share program, and now exclusively on the equity share program, this is an option that you can take to your customer and offer a financing option with a 10-year term, in which the customer doesn't have to make any payments at all towards the balance of it for 10 years. Now, this is, in fact, amazing, because they can take advantage of all the savings they have throughout the 10 years from a solar project, for example, and also the 30% tax credit they get back from their investment. So they get all that positive cash flow through this. And this has a really interesting financing cost attached to it, because it's attached to the appreciation factor of the home over time. And this capital provider here will only be able to benefit from their investor, of course, as the home appreciates in value, and of a certain percentage of the equity that they locked in, of course, equivalent to what the cash that they're providing is. So it's something that can be worked out in a very seamless way, and the customer can benefit a lot from getting this resource upfront, being able to pay for the project and not having to make any payments for 10 years. Now, of course, using a small portion of their home equity as collateral and as a way to guarantee that this investor will get their funds back, but in a very smart and efficient financing cost as well, because this averages out to being equivalent to a loan of around 9 to 10% APR year over year. Now, of course, there's the downside of it. If you're not making any payments throughout the 10 years now, that balance is adding up. Now, Guy, explaining your own terms here, how you explain this to customers and to contractors that are trying to sell this and push this option here. I try to give a brief overview of how I try to explain it and give the introduction to the HEI. But I believe this is such a good product for
Yeah,
financing for
this is
homeowners out
this is a great product. Like what I've noticed and contractors have told me too is like, when you hear that the person, even though they ask for proof of income, they don't really care. Like I'm gonna be honest with you guys here. I'm gonna break the formality barrier, but they don't really need to see any big numbers on that proof of income. That FICO score there says 580. But if they have a equity value above that 30%, that 580 can look more like a 550. So the big factor there is that equity, that percentage equity in home that is in favor of the homeowner. And the way that I would sell it is I always take this example, right? Your home, you own a home, it's worth $1 million. Let's say zero remaining mortgage, it's paid off, good to go. So it's worth $1 million. You want to do a project that's worth 50K, a solar project. Then you apply for an HEI and you find out that you can actually be approved for even more, for 100,000, right? Now, $100,000 is 10% of 1 million. So your house is worth $1 million. That means that 10% is the line of cash. It's not even credit. It's straight up cash that your homeowner is going to get. What happens is that your homeowner has up to 10 years to repay that 10%. Now, that 10% does not mean 10 years to repay 100,000. It means it has 10 years to repay 10%. So if, let's say, the home increases value in 10 years to 2 million, they need to pay back $200,000, right? Now, the thing is, a lot of homeowners, they get really incentivized, just like Louise was saying, once they find out about all the tax incentives, all the saving ups, that they don't see that as a big financial burden for them down the line, right? And a lot of people surprisingly end up paying it halfway through or around year 6, especially because a lot of homeowners just sell the home and then it's even off their hands, like the bank just takes their cut there. So that's more or less how I would sell it. That's how they sell it as well. And that's why it's one of the hottest products out there. They don't really look at credit score. They don't look at your income statement. There's your proof of income. Sorry. There's no monthly payment whatsoever. Right. And you get cash in about, as soon as the process starts, you can get cash in 2 to 3 weeks. Like it's sometimes it seems like it's too good to be true.
Yeah. And we'll be doing that cash disbursement process to the contractor directly from the bank to the contractor. So the customer, only pockets what is additional to the project amount if they want to get that extra portion, like Guillermo was saying, they can be approved for $100,000, even though the project only costs 60, they can get that 40% extra cash kickback, but they will only get that portion. The portion associated with the project will do the disbursement, and we'll go back to that milestone process that we mentioned in the beginning of this live stream session. We're starting with a 50%. Now we're for selected contractors going up to 80% up front. And of course, the platform fee listed here, for the ones that are closing 4 deals this month or the next for 30 days, it's not going to be 10%, it's going to be 8%. So additional incentive there. And this is, such an amazing financing option. Now, for you who's getting here right now and you're trying to wrap your mind around this, this and your question probably at this point is, well, how does the customer pay this back? At the end of 10 years, they'll have a few options, and they'll run this through with the bank as well, but they can roll it in for another 10 years if they can requalify for this program. They can, at any point in time exit this program. If interest rates become interesting again, they can refinance the whatever the outstanding balance is, and get an actual loan that is in fact favorable in terms of financing cost if that becomes available throughout the term. Now, this of course is gonna be driven by the appreciation factor of that home over time. If that home appreciates in value so much, then of course this becomes an expensive financing option. So if the customer at a certain point in time has that expectation, then they have to look at other options here, right? Like refinancing, maybe even before the 10-year term here. And besides refinancing or roll it in, and this actually happens. Of course, the customer will not have this outlook in the beginning stages here because no one expects to sell their home. But on average, a homeowner in the United States sell their home every 7 years. So the 10-year term is well within this average, which can happen. And if it does happen, the homeowner doesn't have to, take the money out of their pocket. Whatever the portion of that equity percentage associated with this financing option here is, will get sent directly to this investor once that sale is done. Because there is a caveat here. There is a second lien holding position for this capital partner, so they will have a claim to that percentage of the equity that they're locking in for this to become available for the homeowner. So with all this, I think we gave a lot of information on the home equity, and of course, we're gonna dive a lot deeper into it as you register and onboard our platform. If you're in there already, you probably got this training and you probably got all your questions answered. Now I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen now and just wrap this up, Guy, because the announcements were so amazing and so positive here, trying to give incentives to our partners and to the ones who are coming in and want to push this such big, I guess it's big steps in the right direction here. And with our focus on the HCI now, at least for the next few weeks, we believe we can make magic happen here and drive a lot of sales and a lot of cash into the cash cycle of projects here being sold by these contractors. So how excited are you? I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to the next few days and weeks to see the turnout. But how excited are you? I mean, have you hinted on this to anyone? And like, what was the
I hinted to a
response?
couple of you. I wanted to ask you guys to join the live. I know some of you are busy, so I'm just gonna make the full announcement between this evening and tomorrow. But I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited to get a bunch of phone calls to really learn how the promotion is going, how it works. I'm pretty sure there might be some blurred lines, but I know it's gonna be really good for both of us, and for both us EOs and you guys, the contractors. And really, guys, we just want to make sure we can bang out as many things as possible. So, any questions, any way we can help each other out, you have my two numbers, right? My current and what used to be Luis's number. So feel free to reach out anytime, and let's make sure that you guys can get funded, or well, your homeowners,
Yeah,
yeah.
I believe we do have your contact information here. Lynn can put that slide back up from the previous presentation. If you're a registered contractor, Guilherme should be the one that you reach out to. Now, if you are an unregistered contractor and you want to come in, you can just reply back to our email. I'll guide you through the entire onboarding process, get you trained up. We'll dive deep into the not only the HI but other financing options we have here. So this is Guilherme's information for our registered and fully onboarded partners. Now, just to wrap this up, next week we have something really cool coming. And in fact, we're planning on launching it this week, but then, this big announcement just came up, and we came up with all these different incentives here for the next 30 days. So we're really focused on this today to give you guys, full focus and attention on these commercial parameters and this commercial incentives. Now, next week we're launching, an interview series with our some of our closest partners, where we want to dive deep into the lives of contractors on a day to day, and you give insights into best practices, right? So we believe this vision financing is really crucial to the contractor space, because in the case of the first contractor that was interviewed by us here, 98% of their sales are financed. And if you are a residential contractor, I'm sure you're not far behind from this. At least 80% of your businesses are coming from finance deals. No, you need to be an expert in financing in terms of all the options that are out there and how to pitch these options to your customer. So we believe you, as we are, you are a solar financier. You need to be an expert. You need to be someone who, understand this just as good as any professional in the space of financing. And of course, maybe you don't have that, graduate degree or undergraduate degree from business administration or financing specifically, but or even that background in terms of job experience and work experience. But you really need to wrap your mind and wrap your head around the concepts and the options out there, because you need to be able to sit down with your homeowner and pitch the right solution, the right components, the right solar project, the right generation amount and savings amount, but also lock in that right financing option, because sometimes it's going to be monthly payment installments that need to be lower than their electricity bill, giving them savings. Sometimes it's going to be something different like the HEI. So you really need to understand this. And sometimes it's going to be something even more different, right? And with more caveats and more specificities and things that you need to be able to explain. So we're launching, a weekly series of interviews, giving full scope of what that looks like on a day to day with our best references, best practices, and be able to get to a point where we can offer you that, full dive into the financing space here as a solar financier. And I guess that will happen as we go along. Now, Guy, are you becoming a solar financier yourself, you think? And how much you like the space of understanding these financing options? Because I know folks with all this content, they're gonna get excited about this too.
Yeah, I think solar financing is just blossoming. We're seeing how we can take advantage of new products such as the HEI or the HELOC through it. And the idea is, and what's really exciting about EOS is exactly that, is tapping into the what the financial industry is all about and how we can just cover this niche that is solar. So for me, it's really exciting. I don't have a background in solar. So for me, it's been just a journey to learn. And I have to thank a lot of you contractors, a lot of you are partners, because you've actually took the time to explain a couple of things to me. But I'm also here to make sure that we can bring the best for you guys. So it's been really an exciting time, and I think it's just going to keep growing. We see the incentives around the country. We see the value that we bring to our partner lenders, and they want more and more. They're hungry with just a bit of what we think has been just a little up until now. So definitely it's something that is kicking off, and it's just going to keep on growing and growing.
Yeah, and I think sharing these success stories among our partners is going to be so awesome, because then we show in reality what we're preaching here and
Mhm.
what we are pushing, right? In terms of a practical approach and understanding our place and our role in this entire space. So I'm really excited for what's to come and the official launch of the Solar Financiers, like ourselves and like you, because you who are out there, you are a true solar financier if you're becoming expert on these financing options, if you're becoming expert on the customer, if you're becoming expert on selling solar and home improvement. You bringing a true solution to them. Of course, the finance is crucial and I want you to become an expert on that too. So we'll be offering that content on a weekly basis, and that's coming up next week with a full interview with our first interviewed contractor and guest here. So success stories to come, and we're really excited to share that with you. For now, we're going to be focusing on those commercial incentives. Again, we're going to be sending a lot of emails and messages and making a lot of calls here to registered contractors. And if you're an unregistered contractor, I'll be reaching out to you. Make sure you register on our website, eosloan.com. Select, be a partner there, become a partner wherever that is placed, big button call to action there. So go through that, 2 or 3 form process, and we'll have your information to reach out to get you fully on board. With that, I wanted to give a big shout out here and thank Guilherme for the participation and helping clear up the messages here. I think we did a good job, and hopefully getting folks out excited, just as excited as we are for the next few days and weeks with these big incentives. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of you here, Guy, in the next few weeks and months. Of course, you're always welcome to come back to our live streams.
Yeah,
So
I like this.
sharing all the success stories too.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It gives me a break from being on the phone with so many of you guys and just speak to all of you at the same time. So don't get also offended if I'm not picking up the phone. That's because I'm right here, and in case you're only looking at this after
There you go.
the recorded view.
Yeah.
But
All
thanks.
right. With that, then, yeah, for sure. Always welcome to come back here. I'm sure you're going to be here many, many times to come. So I'd like to say thank you to you too, that is out there and was following closely here the transmission, the broadcast, we being here live, and of course on the recorded session as well. If you're out there watching until this point, you're probably very interested. So thank you for sticking around, and I will see you probably on the next live stream section coming up next week. So with that, I say goodbye, and I'll see you soon. Okay, take care now.